Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of BTD6. So, welcome to another Crosspath comparison video. In this video, I'm gonna analyze the mob press, and we're gonna take a look at which is the best Crosspath. So with which one you're gonna be able to stall the round longer, and with which one you're gonna be able to do the highest amount of damage. And that is because recently the top path especially has received some buffs, and now the knockback is stronger, and also the amount of bloons you can knock back are higher. So yeah, which is better, 204 or 024? So just going with more attack speed. And yeah, that was my question. So without using monkey knowledge, of course, I tested it out, and I'm gonna show you my results. So I did everything on Monkey Meadow, medium sandbox, placing all the time the boomerangs here closest to this top left corner, right here, in strong targeting and without any buffs. So no alchemist, no village, nothing. So just the boomerangs, right? So I tested 204 and then 024. So I tested these two different crosspaths to see which one would been better. So I did test these two upgrades in 3 different rounds. So first of all, round 80, so single bloon, the ZOMG, to see the overall stalling time and the damage. So to calculate the stalling time, what I did was this: I used a stopwatch, and I started the stopwatch when I started the round, and then when the bloon was leaking, so when you lose lives, that's when I stopped the stopwatch, and therefore that's how I've calculated all the times that you're gonna see in a moment. Then I tested round 84. In this case, there are a lot of bloons in the screen, so it's not just a single bloon. In this case, you have also Pierce that comes in action because you have multiple bloons. And finally, I tested round 98, because it's a pretty advanced round that has 45 BFPs, you know, ZOMGs, has a lot of bloons, so just to see the overall stalling time and the damage. And yeah, those were the 3 rounds I tested, and these are the results. So you can see that all the boomerangs were not strong, and then you can see first of all the time, so the stalling time, how long the round lasted, and then the pops, so the actual damage. And you can see here in the first 2 windows, 204 and then 024. So around 80, you can see that 024 was able to stall for longer, 1.30 against the 1.27, so the round lasted longer for the 024. And also the damage was higher, 1200 more damage. So against a single bloon, 024 seems to be stronger. Then round 84, in this case you can see that there was a huge difference in how much the round lasted. Here it lasted only 46.5 seconds. For the 204 it lasted 4.7, so almost 20 seconds longer. And but despite that, you can see that the 024 boomerang dealt more damage than the 204, and that was because in round 84 something very peculiar occurred. You guys know that the BFPs are actually slower than the mobs, right? And mobs are slower than ceramics. So what happened with this boomerang was the fact that these BFPs, this boomerang was able to pop these BFPs to mobs very easily, and therefore those mobs were able to reach the end faster, and that's why the overall time that this round lasted was less. And compared to the 204, the 204 was able to do less damage to the bloons, and therefore the BFPs were able to survive longer, and that's why the round became longer as well. Because the BFPs are slower. You can see here I already destroyed all the BFPs to mobs, and all these mobs are gonna reach the end very quickly. So that's the reasoning of why this time is much lower than this one, and that's why I tested round 98, because I wanted to see, okay, if we take away the fact that the boomerang is gonna pop the BFPs, right? how these two Crosspath compare to each other. And you can see that the stalling time was almost identical, like 1.04 against 1.03.9. So like 0.4 seconds of difference, almost nothing. But you can see that the 024 once again dealt a lot more damage than the 204. So for all these reasons, the conclusion is that if you're gonna place just one boomerang, 024 is always your best option, because the stalling time is gonna be almost identical and it's gonna do more damage. Remember, you don't wanna have mob presses only to knock backwards mob classmates, but also you're gonna do more damage to them. So that's why 024, in my opinion, is stronger than 204. But then I had to test with more boomerangs, right? Because most of the times we're not gonna place just one boomerang, we're gonna place one, maybe two, and sometimes even three. And those were the extra things that I tested. So with two boomerangs, 204 against two boomerangs, 024, which one was the best? In this case, I only tested around 98, again to not incur again in the same problem of having the 024 boomerangs by doing more damage that would be able to pop the BFBs, and then the round would be lasting less because of that. And so I only tested around 98, and you can see here the results. So once again, the 204 boomerangs seem to be able to stall a little longer than the 024, 2.5 seconds, I think, slightly longer. So there is more difference compared to just one. And then look at the damage. So with double boomerang, in this case, they were able to do more damage than the 024. And that was crazy, because you would never expect that, right? See, a single boomerang here was able to do 27.9 thousand damage. And in this case, a single boomerang 204, 21.4. And if we try two boomerangs, you can see how much more the damage increases. And instead, the damage from the 024 stays pretty much the same. See here, from 27.9 to like 28.8, 29.0. So it's just 1,000 more. Instead, from here, from 21.4 thousand to 29.4. So that's an increase of like 8,000 more. Yeah, surprisingly, two boomerangs are actually stronger if you have them 204 than 024. You're gonna be able to stall longer and you're gonna do more damage. So it's like in any scenario, it's the best option. And yeah, so that was the first surprise. And then with three boomerangs, what happens if you have three boomerangs? Three more presses, 204 and 024. In this case, once again, around 98, and you can see that the stalling time is longer for the 204 boomerangs, again about 2.6 seconds. But in this case, the damage was higher for the 024 boomerangs. You can see that if you combine the three pops with the three boomerangs, you combine them all, you can see that this one had a lot more pops than this one, about like 5,000 if I calculated correctly before. So like 4,000 more pops. So yeah, it's not a lot, but it's higher. Now compared to before, that the 204 boomerangs had the advantage. If you place three, then they don't have the advantage anymore. The 024 have more damage, even though the stalling time it's still less. Then also here you can see something weird. I also tried. I tried to mix them. So I tried to see, okay, if I place one boomerang 204 and one 024, what happens? And you can see that the stalling time is something in between the two. But then the damage was just super bad. Yeah, it was significantly lower than the other two, so it's just bad to mix them. And then down here you can see I did the same task again, but with a 400 village. So a village is going to increase the range, it's going to give more attack speed, and then having the primary buffs, so more projectile speed, more range, and more pierce. And you can see that in any scenario, for every scenario, the boomerangs were able to stall for longer and they were able to do more damage. And you can see that still with a single boomerang, 0 to 4 is better. Still, the 204 can stall for a little longer, but then the damage it's much higher for the 0 to 4 boomerang. So once again, it was the best. For double boomerang, once again, the 204 boomerangs kept the advantage. You can see stalling for longer and then doing more damage. Then with triple boomerang, this was once again a change, because you can see before the 204 boomerangs were able to stall for longer, but they had less damage. But with a 400 village, look at this. The stalling time was definitely higher than before, but look at the 0 to 4 boomerangs. The stalling time was even less than before. So with the village, the boomerangs 0 to 4 were able to stall less the round, and that was because once again of the same problem as before. So I placed the 3 boomerangs just like this, so closest to one another, closest to the top and to the left like this, and then I placed the village 400, right? So what was the problem with all the boomerangs here? Was the fact that in round 98 they were able to pop the ZOMGs much faster, and once again BFPs are faster than ZOMGs, and that was why the round lasted less, even less than before, because they were able to pop these ZOMGs so quickly that the BFPs and the mobs were able to reach the end even faster than before. So that was completely crazy, and therefore because of this a lot less timing that the round lasted, also the damage dropped, and you can see that 204 boomerangs were able to well, not only stall longer but also do a lot more damage. So yeah, once again with the village, with the triple boomerang, the situation changed once again, and you're gonna see here why. So all the boomerangs are running strong with this 400 village, and you can see that here pretty soon they're gonna start popping the ZOMGs into BFPs, and that's why these BFPs actually can push forward and can reach the end much more quickly. See here, no ZOMGs left, and that's why they can just move faster, and that's where I lost like most of my time compared to like the 204 boomerangs. And yeah, so that was the reason why this round, you know, had even less stalling time than the one without the village, even though the damage you can see here was higher. So yeah, very interesting results, I have to say. No, I tried to time as well with a stopwatch as good as I could, and therefore I can see that like these times right here are pretty reliable, and of course then the exact DPS might change because of the exact placement and all the stuff, but I would say that, you know, I try to calculate everything as good as possible. And yeah, so at the end, which is the result, right? The conclusion. If you're gonna place only one mob press, then 0 to 4 it's always better. If you're gonna place 2 boomerangs, then 204 it's always better. So imagine here, I don't know, like 2 mob presses just like this, right? If you're gonna place 2, then 204 is actually better based on these results. If you're gonna place 3, then you can see that it depends. It depends if you're gonna be able to stall a little longer, and therefore you can go for a triple 204 boomerang, right? Or if you're gonna be able to do more damage, and therefore you're gonna go for instead a triple 0 to 4. Oops. So yeah, those were the three different outcomes. So so yeah, that was what the analysis really concluded. And now I'm not really, even though I tested also with the village, I'm not really caring that much about the village, because most of the times, like if we're talking about chimps, you're gonna place these boomerangs not really in like range of a village, or even if you can place them in range of a village, it's going to be just a village with jungle drums. So it's not going to be like a primary training village. So most of the times you're not going to have the boomerangs exploit the extra pierce, projectile speed, and range. So yeah, that's why in my opinion, like, it's not that important considering the results from with the village. But if we were to conclude them, then it might be that 0 to 4 is only stronger when you're placing only one. So if we're considering the village, if you place 1, then it's better. If you place 2 or 3, it's always better to go with 2, 0, 4. And yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. So those were the results. I hope you enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.